The Dragon Ball universe is strange, glorious, wonderful, and packed with creatures. Just like Star Wars' famous cantina scene, you could walk into a bar and see countless weird forms of alien life. But what are they like? What are they called? Which is the coolest? Well, that's what we're here to find out. In this video, we are going to be going through and ranking every single race in Dragon Ball. Yes, all of them. We have identified 131 unique species, and they are all here, ranked in order of importance, innate power, and general impressiveness. For the purpose of this list, we are going all out. Everything that has ever been seen in any incarnation of Dragon Ball is considered canon for our purposes. Let's get into it. Tier 1, Earth. Starting at the bottom of the barrel, we go to the first thing ever killed in Dragon Ball, the giant fish. A bit of a series staple now, catching it was one of the first things we ever saw Goku do, and has been repeated many times since. Rest well, giant fish, you live only to be tasty. Next we have zombies. Nobody dies like zombies. They don't show up much and they go down pretty easily. Fortune teller Baba's skeleton guards are a bit better, but don't do much. So yeah, the living dead aren't a big part of Dragon Ball. Cybermen are next. In theory, these little guys are pretty powerful, but we've never seen them actually manage to accomplish anything important, and their sentience is limited, bottom tier material. Their low-rent sequel, Dr. Willow's Biomen, don't fare much better, but don't have to kill themselves to capture Bulma. One step up. Jiggler, or Bouillon, is bizarre. It's the first alien to encounter Goku. It can withstand the Kamehameha, but it freezes solid in response to cold air. Apparently there's a whole race of these creatures out there, so yeah, whatever you do, don't chill this jelly. And now it's our first spacefaring alien life for the list. Unfortunately, it's the Nico-chan. This race of literal buttheads originated in Dr. Slump, but have shown up in Dragon Ball occasionally. It's quite impressive for a race capable of spaceflight to be this pathetic, but well, yes. They can't do anything, they can't accomplish anything, and eat through their antenna. So all their food smells of farts. They are the one alien group who can be dealt with by regular human authorities. There's a lot of Earth life that's far more threatening than the Nico-chan. There's the Samuro, a race of giant bug cricket things, and fish snakes known to swim through the sands of Diablo Desert. Think less cool versions of Princess Snake. Also dinosaurs. There are dinosaurs in the world of Dragon Ball. Not sure what else to say about them except they sure are neat and are enough to scare our heroes when they do show up. Jiangshi aren't that common, but you get them now and then. Since other beings turned into Jiangshi retain their power, they can get dangerous if you're not careful. Ghosts are also a thing. They're usually not particularly threatening, just working odd supernatural jobs trying to get by. But sometimes you get rogue escaped souls intentionally releasing space tyrants or computer-generated ghost warriors. These can get more dicey, and you can't just remove a charm to deal with them. Earthling in Dragon Ball is a broad brush term. In Dragon Ball, people can look like regular humans, human-animal hybrids, or even Pilaf. But they all basically count as regular humans, have regular human abilities and weaknesses. But at that, there are a few additional things pushing humanity above the weaker races. Human-alien hybrids are very viable, and individual training can bring humans way above their basic power level. For the moment, however, the majority of the human race is on the weak side, cosmically speaking. Not quite regular human are the Kawa, a humanoid tribe that possesses serious martial arts skills and some strange medicine. They first showed up in Kajika, another manga by Toriyama, but a cameo in Dragon Ball Heroes Victory Mission manga places them in the Dragon Ball world. Also just off from the Earthlings are the Triclops, a race of three-eyed aliens best known for being the forefathers of Tien. Their abilities with the third eye are interesting, and it's not clear if Tien ever reached their full potential. Fairies aren't exactly a common species in Dragon Ball, but show up every now and again. We also have sprites, the best known of whom is King Kai's butler, Gregory. There are even mermaids. Though after one met Master Roshi, it's unclear if they're going to be talking to humans again anytime soon. As you might guess from the name of the franchise, there are dragons. Most of them are a bit more mundane than the superpowered and wish-granting kind. Mundane dragons are usually closer to animals, like Icarus. We have seen others, however, so some might be a bit more communicative. Even King Jigora shows up now and then and watches the World Martial Arts Tournament. Vampires show up here and there. Most haven't been that impressive, but one of them, Lucifer, was able to build a cannon to blow up the sun. Jiras don't have that level of impressive technology, but these dinosaur men are pretty strong. Their leader Jiran attended the World Martial Arts Tournament and was able to give Goku a decent fight. Like Earthlings, Demon is an umbrella term in Dragon Ball, with some sub-races that are extremely powerful and some that are weak. This place goes to those demons who aren't part of a distinct sub-race, like Spike the Devilman, the Dark Vassal Namekians, and the Mount Paozu trio. They don't tend to matter a ton, but they are above mortal average. and one subrace that ranks above regular demons are the ogres in charge of the land of the dead. King Yema and his attendants get one of the hardest jobs in the other world, keeping order amongst departed souls. No one gives the hard-working officials in charge of hell their due, just racing along Snake Way to hang out with the Kais. But I'd like to think that they deserve more respect than just that. But yeah, that was the first part of this list. Ready for more? Well, first be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on to never miss an upload, and smash that like button for some plot armor today. So what's next? Tier 2, the people of space. Ah yes, the big bad realm of space. There's a ton of alien races in Dragon Ball, but unfortunately, a lot of them we just don't know that much about. Many are only known for one member who played a more significant role in the story, and for this list, that limits their ranking. As such, at the bottom of this tier, we currently have the races of Akka, Apul, Beerus, Bibidi, Blueberry, Birder, Kabri, Kabira, Chilai, Cranberry, Kui, Nibiria, the Bearded Frieza Soldier, Ginyu, Goichi, Hearts, Iru, Jace, Jiren, Malaka, Moro, Augurs, Rakum, Sangabo, Jimoraka, Tui, Tubi, Venesal, Yunba, Zarbon, Zaoyogi, and Zuno. This is also where we see cross-universe racial variants. The same species can look different in other universes, so without further information, we can't classify unknown species from the Tournament of Power more firmly. Anything in doubt goes here. So now, onto the guys we know a little about. We've got the Wagashi, the race of Monaka the Delivery Man. Not to be confused with the Watagashi, the race of that parasitic alien who fought Gohan one time. After them are, Toads? Like Mario Toads? They were attacked by Lord Slug's forces but saved by kids using card game technology to protect avatars of themselves, and these avatars team up with Goku? Or maybe he's a trading card too? I don't know, this got really existential fast. Yeah, there's still not a ton of information out there on a lot of these spacefaring races. Even the ones that have names don't always get much more than that. Like take the Zunatites. They were those guys who fought for Babidi. Their homeworld got destroyed by Moro later. That's all we got. Next are the Booleans, the race of Ginyu Force member Guldo. What does it say about them that Guldo is the most significant part of their race's history? Then we have the Beans, these two short guys who work for Turles. They're supposedly the ones who built his spaceship and guns. The Bepons come from a lava world. That makes them pretty tough probably, but we've never seen their cities. The Akondians were attacked by Turles. We don't know if any survived. The Zalt are amphibians from an ocean world, probably still controlled by the Frieza Force. Alpharians were reptile folk with guns, killed by Kid Buu but revived later on. The Altarians were obscure but cool. They're pirates from another ocean planet who live beneath the waves. And at that, a lot of these minor races have more to distinguish them than you'd think. Take these Hedgehog Sonic cosplaying guys. They can open portals with their innate magic, covering great distances in a blink of an eye, and can fight with their quills. So truly, they could be really cool if they were focused on more. Kunines are dog people from a desert world with the power to see the future, something usually reserved for the highest of gods. The ancient tower of seers on Kun was a testament to their skill and longevity. Not much is known about them, but the Macareni clan have enough involvement in galactic affairs to travel the stars and get locked up. Tazbans had to have been impressive warriors. The Saiyans were forced to hold out for the moon to use their great ape forms against them. The Ankokuan absolutely had a strong power set. Their light absorption powers were able to drain people of their life force. Still, the fact they can die by just standing next to a Super Saiyan is more than a little pathetic. They might just be the second coming of the Jiggler. The Branch Seijin might be the most impressive of the Ginyu Force races. These are Jace's people and have several named members: Bonyu, Niusu, and Bosco. The most notable, however, is Dula, who founded his own heroic version of the Ginyu Force, the Dula Force. The Arcosians were the financial backers of early Saiyan conquest prior to the Frieza clan era. They are responsible for Saiyan technology, including the transport pod, and thus have a large effect on the lore. In more modern times, the Tritechians were apparently enough to give Nappa and Vegeta a strong fight. What happened to them is unclear. We have the Ergna, a monster used in an attack on the Daldun that was strong enough to give a Pride Trooper trouble. The Vampa Beetle and Vampa Beast are both fearsome natural creatures and a good reminder to never visit Vampa, ever. The Bio Warriors are a unique wrinkle. First created by Dr. Willow, they are essentially meat androids. Willow's attempt to create Ultimate Warriors like Dr. Gero did. They can get pretty powerful, and one was eventually able to go Super Saiyan, but they're limited by the material he was working with. On average, they seem less impressive than the Zunamites, giant anglerfish looking creatures who can predict earthquakes. Space lemurs? Space lemurs. They're Tanuki looking guys with shapeshifting powers and a fondness for trickery based games. Cool power set, but not all that strong. There's the Slugjin, Lord Slug's foot soldiers who also work for Frieza sometimes. The Lit are small bird-like guys who also work for Frieza. Gohan and Krillin's armor was intended for them. Ooh, next up is the Barbarians. There aren't much to look at just yet, but Gowasu showed us that they've got potential to grow. The Shirts were pretty human-looking guys with advanced technology, conquered in the past by Vegeta while working for Frieza. The Shalmones lost their homeworld to Broly in the old movie, but kept going regardless. The Kabo-chan put up such a good fight against Turles, he recruited one to his Crusher Corps. Arlians are a cool species when you look at them. Insect swordsmen who shoot lasers from their mouths. Could have been something too if Vegeta hadn't blown them up. Same deal with the Kana-san. Fish psychics who could see the future. Unfortunately, they went down fighting Bardock's squad, just like the Medians. However, those guys are still around. Kinda. The Dorakians in Universe 2 look very close to the design, primarily just shifting skin color. Could they be related? The Gelboians at least survived. They're pretty gullible though. They got fooled by Zunama into thinking he could cause a volcanic eruption. Contrast that with the Amekians, who were at least being oppressed by old-fashioned capitalism. The Plantians might have endured to modern day and been the ancestors of the Saiyans or Cerealians, though it's unclear. Greatest of these oppressed races are the Shugarians. They somehow managed to afford to buy planet cereal from the Heaters despite losing their world. Impressive. The Cerealians themselves merit mention. Yes, they fell to the Saiyans, but acquitted themselves extremely well, forcing a difficult campaign to wipe them out. That's more than many races on this list can say. The Sanzaru have a unique 3-member fusion ability and allows them to potentially punch above their weight class. There are a few races who invaded Earth back in Toriyama's other works. Martians invaded in Go-Go Ackman. One now runs a ramen shop in space. The Tech did the same, and now one of them is married to Vegeta's brother. The Fishmen have one member, Arqua, who became a disciple of the East Kai worthy enough to face Goku. The Octo are the race of the Galactic King himself, and well, be careful with their tentacles. Just saying. Tier 3, Pillars of the Stars. This is where we get into the most prominent part of the list. These are the most impressive mortal races in Dragon Ball. The ones who have a population and some ability to actually do stuff. Never underestimate the races that made it this far. First of this tier is the Snackians, a warrior race of lion-like folk. They have open diplomatic relations with Earth and are overall friendly, unless you look like a dog. Don't mind the salute, be polite, and you'll get along just fine. Next is the Machine Mutants. Creations of the Tuffles, these bio-robots are a step up from Dr. Willow's Biomen, coupling organic adaptability with mechanical strength. They are capable of integrating other races' technology into themselves, adapting to a variety of situations with complex unique forms, and are fully sentient beings. The Tuffles from Universe 6 have been continuing to work on the technology, and the results show promise. After them are the Makian, the race of Garlic Jr. Now mostly gone from the universe, these guys had power enough to fight Saiyans and some interesting tricks. Immortality and dimensional travel being two of the most prominent. Well known to fans of GT, it's the Tuffles themselves. Formerly co-inhabitants of the planet Plant along with the Saiyans, they were wiped out in Universe 7 long ago. But not before implementing long-term plans for their survival. Their technology was impressive, and while eradicated from Universe 7, they still endure in both Universe 6 and Universe 2. The Metal Men sure make a good first impression. Big, tough, and coming in like a wrecking ball. Unfortunately, a weakness to insults is just plain embarrassing. The fact that they exist in multiple universes is worthy of note, but it's hard to get over the hilarity of their self-esteem issues. They still have a ways to go. The Hera clan are a notable first for this tier. It's our first proper group of bootleg Saiyans, a mostly human-like alien race that have enough power to fight the Z Warriors head-on. As these go, the Hera are not particularly interesting. They're warriors with transformations and minimal ethics beyond enjoying a good fight. They're just like the old Saiyans, but they did outlast Planet Vegeta, so some respect is due to them. The OG soldiers are a mechanical race we still don't know a ton about, but 7-3 has proven an impressive combatant, learning enemy abilities with a touch, and his people are able to learn from him. If more are out there, they could become a formidable force in the future. If you want an even more mysterious race, the Glass Tribe are a pure unknown. We have only encountered one member, Rags, during Heroes' Universal Conflict Saga. That said, their power is worthy of note. Rags is capable of summoning a giant glass dragon to menace multiple foes and manages to seriously injure Goku. Probably the greatest magic-using species outside the gods on this list is the Kashbar. These guys were able to create and control a Phantom Majin, Hirudegarn, and use it as a weapon of war. Following that, the rest of the galaxy united to wipe them out, but you know, respect for past accomplishments and all that. They've earned a spot here. Unfortunately for them, it's one place below their rivals, the Konatsians. This race also runs some risk of being called a Saiyan bootleg, but has more to distinguish them. Visually, they're far less human than the Hera or Cerealians. Their power set is also more original, focusing far more on swordplay and magical artifacts. Their sealing magic in particular is downright impressive, able to contain future Zamasu himself. They're not exceptional, but solidly cool and have a lot of potential. The Metamoron are the originators of the fusion dance. Since Goku learned it from them in Otherworld, it's not clear if any of them are still alive. But as long as that dance endures, the Metamoron spirit will never die. Still very much alive are the Yardrat, the species who helped heal Goku after the Battle of Namek and taught him instant transmission. And hey, even after achieving Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta still sought them out for training and spirit control. The Wolves are an impressive lot. They managed to make it to the Tournament of Power and fought hard against Universe 7's finest, atop their earlier good showing in the Zeno Expo. Unlike the Metal Men, they don't have a firm weak spot. They're strong all-around combatants who could likely develop further given time. But finally, we've made it. You know them, you love them, back in the day you'd run in fear of them, it's the Saiyans. They might have lost their homeworld, but they endure on Earth. Their legacy is dark, full of violence and death, but the coming generations of Earthborn Saiyans seem ready to inherit all of the race's power with none of its old tyrannical streak. Between them and the Saiyans of Universe 6, the species still has potential to grow. But what beats a Saiyan? Well, to start with, it's the Nekomajin. These adorable little fluffballs are ludicrously strong, able to mirror the powers of Goku and the Z-Warriors almost perfectly. They're largely content to idle away their time on Earth, but if you get on their bad side, you're going to be in a world of trouble. Dr. Gero's legacy, the androids are the most impressive mechanical life form on this list. They've proven highly adaptable, able to go toe-to-toe with the strongest in the multiverse. The bio-android was a step above them, and with further researchers willing to improve on Gero's legacy, there's no telling what later generations of androids may be capable of. Enduring tragedy after tragedy, the Namekians are a core part of the Dragon Ball world. They're the ones who created the Dragon Balls after all. They have a wide variety of abilities. Division, resurrection from an egg, superior healing, Kami and Dende can even resurrect the fallen Shenron. Despite their homeworld getting blown up, somehow they keep enduring as a species. They are implacable survivors. And now onto the race that held the galaxy in an iron grip for the longest time, the Frieza clan. The epitome of power. Even before Frieza ran their group, this race held a large portion of the galaxy in an iron grip. While other races may gain power through mutation or training, the sheer innate power every member of this race has is insane. If their numbers were greater, there would be no stopping them. But they were outlasted and surpassed by a greater force. The Heater clan endured past Frieza's original death and have proven themselves adept at manipulating people to their needs. Coupling their political skills with strength roughly on par with Frieza's race and much more willingness to work together, the Heaters are currently the top of the galactic food chain in Universe 7. Tier 4, the Court of Heaven. And now, the peak of it all, the creme de la creme, the gods of Dragon Ball. Most populous of their lot are the Kais. Technically, that's more of a job title, only 5 members of the race serve as Kai at a time per universe. The rest spend their days relaxing and having fun. Oddly, unlike the many vegetable and food names on this list, Kais are actually plant-based life forms, born from the fruit of the Kaiju trees. Their titles are confusing, but when it comes to it, the Kais know their martial arts and teach it well. Greater than the Kais are the Majin. While Majin Buu is by far the most famous and most powerful, there have been many Majin over the years. In fact, any powerful creature summoned by wizards can be considered a Majin. We have also encountered many Majin similar to Buu in other stories. Accounts of their origin vary, but they're usually not that far behind Buu in terms of power. Next stand the Supreme Kai. While most Kai are not inherently divine, Supreme Kai are the exception. From the moment they first fall from the tree, they are blessed with innate divinity. Acting as the counterparts to the gods of destruction, each universe has at least one to oversee the forces of creation, both in the mortal realm and in the respective other world. Inherently important to the function of life in a universe, their destruction is a reoccurring bad sign. Above even those sit the creatures that give Dragon Ball its name, the Eternal Dragons. Tied inexorably to Dragon Balls, it is easy to write them off as nothing more than a bottled genie, existing to grant wishes and nothing more. But we've seen them be able to act more freely when the Dragon Balls are misused. Some of the most powerful villains in GT were corrupted Eternal Dragons. Best hope they stay quiescent. Next is a curious band. The Gods of Destruction are not a biological race, it could be considered closer to a title in some aspects, However, it's been made clear that the position is more gradual and transformative, with candidates being awarded Destruction Ki as they make their way towards the post. Given that artificially created life forms such as androids are considered races in Dragon Ball, this brings them into line for our purposes. While we've seen Gods of Destruction challenged occasionally, on paper each is supposed to be the greatest force in their universe. To everyday inhabitants of the Dragon Ball universes, these are the scariest things in existence. But to those in the know, there's one race infamous for striking above their station that may give even the Gods of Destruction pause. They bear no official name, but the fandom hypothesizes that these are Dark Kai, the height of power in the demon realm. They've been consistently willing to steal power from other sources to enrich themselves. Their adaptability and tolerance for these unorthodox methods boost them several places on the list. Harmonious in their perch, the Angels of the Divine Minister are the status quo, the group keeping order across the Dragon Ball multiverse. Primarily attending the Gods of Destruction, they keep the universes running smoothly, directing the temperamental destroyers and mitigating collateral as needed. Even one angel is a superior fighter to a God of Destruction. Imagine a group of these perfectly ordered beings fighting together. While the position might not match the raw power of an angel, the thankless work of the Supreme Kai of Time should not be underestimated. Charged with duties greater than the regular Supreme Kai, they are responsible for maintaining the smooth flow of time, keeping various parallel timelines in order, and minimizing disruptions caused by time travel. This position comes with enough power to create an eternal dragon without accompanying Dragon Balls, an unprecedented feat. The Omni King Zeno is, or at least was, unique. Ruler of all 12 existing universes, Zeno's power seems unlimited. The angels attend him, the gods fear him, and he's proven willing to destroy universes on little more than a whim. The destruction of Fusamasu is the ultimate proof of Zeno's power. A hostile universe is not enough to fell the being who can make all of existence vanish if he feels like it. But even Zeno's power has its limits. Look at him in the aftermath of the destruction of Fusamasu. Unable to escape, move, or recreate the universe. The Omni King's ability to manipulate time seems limited, as is that of the angels. The Dragon Ball Heroes continuity expands on this, crediting the power to create time and thus the existence of the universe as we know it to the Toki Toki. These divine birds are said to create time, explaining future Zeno's helplessness state in a destroyed universe. Without the Toki Toki, universes cannot be created. Theirs is a power that even a near omnipotent being has become reliant on. But yeah, this has been all 131 species in Dragon Ball that we could find. Did we miss one? Do you agree or disagree with our ranking? Let us know down below. As always, I'm Slice of Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.